Tristan, I have to ask you, when's the last
Yeah.
time you took a look in a book?
I was reading some Star Trek last night. Oh, it wasn't a book; it was Kindle.
Ah,
So
okay. Uh,
yeah,
if you don't know that reference, you need to go back to the '90s, folks. As my wife's in the background laughing at
but
me,
but you don't have to take our word for it.
you don't. Um, but yeah, we have a what will probably be a very short rankum of the five versions of Geordi, or perhaps the five faces of Geordi. I'm just kind of putting the cards out here. It's kind of nice to see the evolution of Geordi. Three visors, then you get the first contact Geordi with the sunglasses. Is my There we go with the sunglasses. Of course, he that was to hide the uh, the corrective eyes from
Yeah,
the past, and then you get Nemesis Geordi with the ocular implants. That's the phrase I was looking for. It's all there. So
yeah. We finally get bearded Geordi there at the
yes.
end. Yeah,
So yeah. Um, well, like I was saying, this probably won't take too long. So why don't we just start it off here with number five? Ah, dissension right away. So
yeah.
I
I feel
don't
like
know.
it's gonna be a theme here.
So I'll start here. A 5 point crew Geordie. Yes, he does discount all tech upgrades by a point, but just his other ability, disable the card to roll one additional defense die for each tech upgrade, max of two. It just it just hurts. Uh, most ships are going to run one. I guess since you have the discount, probably two, maybe three tech if you really pushed it. Um, so okay, that's going to discount him down, but I'm almost never going to want to disable him to roll additional defense dice. Uh, those abilities are going to be very few and far between. I just really can't bring myself to run this version of Geordie when others exist, and even if this was the only version of Geordie out there, I still think I have better things to do with my crew slots than run this card.
Hmm. Yeah, he's not too much farther up my list here, so I really can't disagree with any of that. Uh, I just for this version of Geordie, and I think this is the original starter set Geordie.
It
Correct
is,
me if I'm
yeah.
wrong. But yeah, I mean, having a scan token that's fine. I don't mind scans. Force you can force your opponent to reroll one defense die. I mean that can be effective. I mean, defense dice can be fickle, so most of the time they're only rolling one or two. But um, if it didn't have the scan on there, I think it'd be great. Um, but I think obviously maybe this one was designed to work with the original Picard, so you could do a scan and then a battle station or something.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
yeah, I think just a little conditional. I don't feel it really fits Geordi too well. This feels maybe more like a Worf ability.
It
Like
does.
yeah, when I think of Geordi, I don't think of trying to take out my opponent. He's the tech guy. He keeps the ship running. He doesn't he's not attacking. He's not trying to directly impact the opponent. So seems kind of weird.
It does, but I get it. He's going after cloaked ships, and I guess that has some
Yeah.
science backing to it. Maybe exploiting an engineering weakness, but it's not a Geordie ability. Plus, it's really expensive. 4 points to conditionally force somebody to re-roll one defense die. That's just not very good. Uh, yeah, that's my only add-in. This is very expensive.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, and I mean, same thing here. 5 points. I mean, the discount is nice, but even on Fed chips, most of the time, you're going to max out at two tech, maybe three if you're going to do use like a upgrade or find another way to convert one of those slots to something else. So 2 point discount for on a 5 point card doesn't seem very fantastic. The secondary ability, I mean, I definitely possibly see using it, but really, if I'm building a ship around where I want to roll extra dice, I'd probably just rather put Riker on there or some other way to just boost the defense dice naturally every round, and it's going to be probably about the same price anyway or less. So um, it's too bad. I think there might be some synergy between this Geordi and the Hathaway Wharf. Maybe that was the intention there, but you really can't run both at the same time. So
Right. Also, maybe some synergy between him and I want to say it's the Romulan Tomahawk that does bonus stuff with tech. I might be wrong on it being
Yeah,
Tomahawk, but
yeah. So I think you get a. I think he gives you an extra tech slot, and then you can re-roll a number of your attack dice equal to the number of like undisabled tech you have, or something like that.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean that could work out.
So at least another
Um,
tech slot, and it's like
yeah,
he's better on not a Federation ship.
yeah, maybe. I've considered. I have a build out there where I combine him with Vanek
Yeah.
because on the Prometheus, because Vanek gives you a 2 discount already on Fed and Vulcan tech.
Mm-hmm.
Geordi gets adds up to 3. Now all of a sudden, all your Prometheus tech with Federation prototype is very cheap or free. Um, so there's something there, but it's probably a point or two too much.
Yeah.
So
I was messing around with Vanek today. Actually, was building for a
I
mission, and Vanek
I
plus
really
Vulcan High Command got very fun.
yes. Well, Night Command. I love Vanek on the Prometheus because you can make hit the tech super cheap
Uh huh.
if you want to do it for defensive build. I also like putting him on with Vulcan High Command on one of the Surat class ships just to see how much tech I can pack on there and what I can make
Oh
make
yeah.
work. But
Oh, it's
yeah,
great.
he's a fun guy,
All
but he's
right.
not Joey.
No, he's not Geordi. We'll talk Vulcan captain someday.
Yeah, I'll have to do that.
Okay. So number three, this is I called him +2 time tokens for ±2 because that's really the short of it. You put 2 time tokens on him, and then you can increase or decrease the speed of your maneuver by 2. Color stays the same. I like the effect. I just like the other two versions of Geordi a little bit more. Uh, I'm not sure why I haven't run this a lot. I think it's just because other crew warrant places more frequently. Chemo sites out there, which does more, and it's
Sure.
rare that I want to decrease my maneuver, although I probably should. And I need to remember this version of Geordi for mission play a whole lot more because he definitely is going to have use when my ship caps out at a 4 straight, but I really want to go 6.
Sure.
That sort of thing. Or even do like a 1 hard turn, because that is a very good use of him. I think the downside is you don't get to do an action the game around you use him. That's why I don't use
Yeah.
him a bunch. I figured it out. I finished reading the card and I'm like, that's the reason I don't use this Geordi. I don't get an
Yeah.
action.
It's a big drawback. Yeah.
That's the big drawback, and that's why. Um, Imagine a line that says, okay, 5 and 4 are very bad, and now 3 is okay. We'll see how much adds to okay, but 3 is okay in my eyes.
Yeah. Uh, I think it's fair enough. He's getting that much higher on my list. Not that there's a lot much higher he can go.
Nope,
Um,
there's 2 and 1.
the Nemesis Geordi. I mean, everything you get here is perfectly fine, and we get an extra tech slot, which is nice. The action is great. Obviously, it's thematic. It really hurts cloaked ships.
Mm-hmm.
It can also really hurt really any ship that's not cloaked because they're probably not rolling more than 2 dice anyhow. Um, I I think the one thing that kind of stops me is having to disable him to use the action, and it probably makes sense because if you could use this every round, it'd probably be a little too much. Um, but yeah, I don't know. He definitely saw some play in the Earth Romulan War tournament we did not too long ago with Fremont.
Right.
He had some effect there. I just don't know if I don't know if I'd run him, you know, too much otherwise. If I didn't know what my opponent was coming up against, if I wasn't sure if they were running cloaked or not, I think I might keep him away. So
Yeah, I want to say when I first did a review of the Enterprise E pack, I said, okay, this Geordi is mission playable when you know your opponent's got the cloaked ship, because that's all you want to use them for. There's other cheaper ways to get a tech slot, better ways, all in all. Rolling two less defense dice is nice, but um, I'm still at this point. Give me Nanclis. You just get to roll 0, period.
sure.
Uh,
Or there's plenty of ways to just you know get two scans pretty easily. So
Now, yeah.
yeah,
Back in the day, there were not. He was very much a novel concept when he came out. So that much was good, but he is aged poorly.
yeah.
That being said, he is my number 2. See, we're just flip flopping here. He's my number 2 because it's something we talked about in the data rankings. Flipping cloak tokens is not something we see a lot of. And that ability to hurt cloaked ships a bit is a good effect that is going to carry more and more weight. That's why I moved this version of Geordi up. And I do like that I get to use it multiple times if I need to. I don't like that subsequent uses cost me 2 actions to do it, but
Yeah.
hey, he can be part of a combo where I already have like Bashir going, and then he doesn't feel quite as bad.
Yeah, I mean, this Jordy, I think everything you said here applies. The lack of the action really hurts it. I do like it from the perspective of it. It is replicating Chemosite, and Chemosite is really hard to get.
Yeah,
Um, and
physically, yeah.
yeah, physically, yeah, again, physically, yeah. And the two-time tokens. I think the intent here is you're not going to use them every round. I can see the advantage of him being, say, early in the game where you're trying to just position yourself correctly. Um, you're not going to attack in the first 1 or 2 rounds anyway, so maybe the action isn't super critical on the Fed ship,
Hmm.
and you just want to move up quickly, or or maybe you do get into tight quarters and you realize, hey, if I take this, 3 bank like I wanted, I'm going to bump and, so whatever the case may be, you want to avoid that. I think there's some value there, um, but I think I've seen them run once, and it wasn't me running them,
Mm.
yeah, they're just not. It's not as flexible as some other ways now, especially with all the ways you have movement available. He's not as valuable anymore, I suppose. But
Yeah, I do think he's potentially good. I think that in missions where you're trying to move from objective to objective and you're not so much worried about combat, that's where he's going to come in more handy.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's tough. But that means we have a very clear, well-defined number 1,
Yeah,
uh, which is interesting that it keeps happening. But you know what? We're gonna take it. So yeah, this is first contact, Geordi. He went to Zephram Cochrane High School, don't you know?
you
Or was
did.
that Barkley that said that?
Oh, that's a good point. Might have been Barkley. It sounds like something he
Yeah,
overshared with Stephen Cochran.
I
Yeah.
gotta rewatch that now. It's been too long since I've watched First Contact. Anyway, It might have been Geordi. I feel like it was Geordi, but anyway, this that's not what this is about. Geordi is choice. I call him. This is just choice. You only get to do this when you reveal a straight maneuver, but let's face it, that's what most maneuvers end up being. At least in jousting matches, which I don't know. I don't understand why that's just become the default in most the way most people fly. I think it's lack of creativity. But yeah, treating the revealed maneuver as a green maneuver is fantastic on ships that have red straight maneuvers. Remind me, there's one ship that has a six straight, but it's red.
Well, I think doesn't the Sovereign have a six straight red?
I believe it does. Let
And
me
I think also possibly the Kelvin Constitution
the
might have one.
Sovereigns is a six straight red. I'm almost certain that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Let me look up that Kelvin Constitution. Yep, they also have a six straight red. Wow, very good memory. That was not a quiz.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
though I'm a teacher in real life, I do not like ever giving pop quizzes. But yeah, so Geordi on one of those two ships is fantastic because you turn what would be a red straight into a green straight.
Hmm.
Fantastic, done. Uh, or you go faster. And if you put it on the Federation prototype, and that's not a small number of choices, you get to do both. I like the choices he has, or the options he has. Now, not quite as cool to turn a five straight into a green six straight, but, or I guess a four into a green five when you have the Federation prototype. But all that to me says is he's not absolutely necessary to have comboed with the Federation prototype. It's just a delightful bonus if you do.
Yeah, I yeah, I mean, obviously the Federation prototype thing is pretty limited, but I mean, I can definitely see putting him on the Sovereign would be my main choice there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, in just that increasing the maneuver by one is fantastic. I mean, um, all of a sudden now you have pretty much any ship can do a five straight um, white maneuver, which is you know I think really opens up the positioning quite a bit just to have that a little bit more of a speed ability in that first couple of rounds. Yeah, and then be able to convert anything to a green maneuver if you get into some aux trouble and you need to get away quickly but still want to take another action to evade or what have you. You can do that. Um, do I wish you could use this ability on banks or hard turns or something?
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
that'd be great. I don't suppose now it's a two forward, yeah. So it's not just so you can't do a back maneuver and turn it green. That'd be super fantastic. But for two
Right.
points, yeah, for 2 points, you can use them every other round or mix them up with Esri and use them every round if you want, what have you. You can't go wrong for that price.
Yeah. Hey, I still like being able to take like a Saber, the USS Saber, and actually move that to go up to a five straight.
Yeah,
Because a lot of the ships are limited with only going up to a four. Defiant, not that you'd run the USS Defiant, but I mean, you can. But yeah, a lot of the smaller ships are cap out at a four. So Geordi lets them go up to a five.
yeah. I
And
mean, it's
and
kind of
when their
standard.
fours are a
Yeah.
white, a five straight can make all the difference in maneuvering. So I don't know. It's something to at least consider, and Yeah, I think, at least for me, the way I view Geordies, 4 and 5 are not very good. 2 and 3 are situational, and one is you gotta. I'm going to find a reason to run this Geordie. Maybe not all the time, but here and there for sure.
Yeah, I think it he definitely plays well with any of the sovereign ships. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of tailor made for that to get that extra speed without having to take an aux token. Because that's either going to get you into combat, into range quicker, or out of range when you need to get out of there. Um, and
Yeah.
again, point wise, he's good. It's a little disappointing that we don't have don't have more Geordies and don't have maybe some more that are more clear favorites. I feel like none of these are amazing. I mean, we've seen some really good Picard, Rikers, Worf, even a couple Datas that have some pretty useful, interesting abilities. Um, I just don't know if anything here. Looking at Geordie's like, wow, I need to use that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we'll get something here, down the road. There's definitely plenty of other Geordies that we could see. We talked beforehand about needing a Captain LaForge at some point. That would be nice to see that as well. We'll see what WizKids has for us.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I would have loved to have seen a version of him. I forget if it was season 1 or I want to say it was season 1. It's the episode where they're on the planet with the Echo Papa
Yeah.
607 drone.
Arsenal of Freedom.
Okay,
Yeah.
that rings a bell. And Geordie's in command. And
Yep.
Geordie
Yeah.
has these very tactical decisions. Being the commander of the Enterprise would have been the perfect reason to give him a captain card. Sure, he could have been skilled 3 or 2 even, but it
Mhm.
would have made for an interesting captain version. And we could have had the tactical officer and the helmsman that were in that episode. I forget their names at this point, but there's potential there. And like you said, the mirror the Voyager in game future that wasn't, where he's captain of the, was it the Challenger, the
Yeah.
revive,
Timeless. Yeah.
or Timeless? He was in
Yeah.
Timeless. He wasn't in the in game future. Uh, yeah, but he's around, and but none of his versions truly scream engineer. The last one does. But I think that had a little something to do with WizKids never truly knowing what to do with engineers.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, in general, the engineer cards aren't that memorable.
Yeah,
Um,
Scotty, Balana,
yeah, uh,
Miles.
yeah. There's Tucker has a pretty blah
Yep.
uh, engineering card. Yeah, Miles has like one, where he can remove a disable token is somewhat useful, and Balana's got that really good
Adding slots.
independent one, the 1.1. Yeah, she can
Oh,
add the slots. I do use that one sometimes, but yeah, where she just for 1 point she can reroll a blank, but that's not really engineering either. So
no, that
again,
was her.
thematically, yeah,
Yeah, that was more her Maquis days,
yep,
which I
exactly.
like. But yeah, this version of Geordie does feel the most engineer because he's getting more out of the engines,
Yeah, that's true.
uh, and reducing power strain. Uh, yeah, but I like him. So I don't know. Well, I don't know what is next necessarily in the Rankums, but I know that it will happen soon. So stay with us. Watch Tristan's YouTube channel, read his blog, do all that good stuff. And until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care, folks.